In this video, we're taking a look at turn 10, the March 1905 turn in Port Arthur in the Russo-Japanese War. And this is the last turn of the game. So the Japanese player starts by receiving reinforcements, and the 3rd Reserve Brigade lands at Wuchao via naval transport. Then the infantry in the gap between the Han River and the towns of Haicheng and Yingkou, which you cannot see on the map here, converge against the 61st Reserve and puts it out of supply and subsequently destroys it in combat. And that changes the victory points to Russia 39, Japan 37. Starting to get close here. Now looking at the map, to the south of Mukden, the Japanese commander has assembled a massive attack against these entrenched positions along the Han River. And you can see this attack is aimed at the eventual capture of Mukden. But of course, in game turns, the game ends this turn, so the Japanese player really is focused on inflicting more casualties to gain enough victory points to win the game. Now, it should be noted the river has now thawed due to the spring seasonal conditions, so that's going to weaken the attack somewhat. The heavy artillery, though, and you can see that in the picture, is rolled up, and a flank attack is launched. So this attack ends up being at 4-1. There are a number of modifiers for the artillery, for concentric attack, and also for the defensive trenches. This time the Japanese are successful, and they take out 3 steps from the Russian defenses with negligible losses to the Japanese. So even though the enemy position stands, the Japanese army scores 3 victory points, which now adjusts the total to Japan 40, Russia 39. The Russian player has set up defensive lines with a weakness here that allowed the Japanese to maximize his strength against it. So my bad on the Russian commander there. So we now go to the Russian part of the turn, and the Russians receive reinforcements through Mukden, and this will include the Russian 42nd Division and the 44th Infantry Division. However, acknowledging this is the last turn, the Russian commander can see that if everything remains pat, he's going to lose the game, 43-40. So that means he's got to score 4 more steps of casualties than he receives by launching counterattacks against the Japanese army. I just don't think this can happen. It's a very tall order. However, a major attack is launched against both of the Japanese flanks. And the first attack is repulsed, and the Russians take 2 losses with no Japanese army casualties. So that was not good. That changes the score to Japan 42, Russia 39. Then the second flank attack also fails, and the Russians suffer further heavy losses, and we know Mukden will soon fall. This score is now Japan 44, Russia 40. We now go to the strategic movement phase. This phase really is not needed since the game is ending. So the Japanese player gains 3 more victory points because they control Port Arthur and the town of Liaoyang, while the Russians get 1 victory points for the control of Mukden. So the final score is Japan 47 and Russia 41. So that's the end of the game. The Japanese won. You can see how this game works. It's kind of Russia has to collect the most victory points it can early on as it slowly dwindled away, and then the teeter-totter victory points shifts the other way. So that's pretty much every time I've played this game. It's how it comes out. There are some other strategies I could have tried, but I mean, it is what it is. It's a 1990s magazine game. It's okay. However, if you really are interested in this war, the 1904-1905 Russo-Japanese War, I would recommend trying the International Game Series game from MMP called Tide at Sunrise. And if you do try that game, I would recommend using the simplified naval rules rather than the extended version that was maybe originally intended for the game. The simplified rules make it a little bit better, I think. Anyway, have a great day and thanks for watching.